Hey everyone, we all want our savings to grow, right? Nice and steady, super reliable. But for a lot of folks in retirement, their income path is, well, it's more like a wild, winding road full of unpredictable twists and turns thanks to inflation. So today, we're going to break down two very different ways to think about retirement income and see which one really holds up when it comes to the rising cost of living.
So let's just start with the biggest question on everyone's mind. Is your retirement income actually keeping up? I mean, you save your whole life, you make a plan, but when you finally hang it up, is that money going to grow fast enough for you to live the way you want to? The system that's officially designed to protect you, well, it might not be the ironclad shield you think it is.
So, over on one side, you've got the familiar Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment, or COLA. And let's be honest, it can feel like a total roller coaster. But on the other side, we've got a whole different strategy. This one's focused on the steady, consistent growth of dividends from really established companies, kind of like growing a money tree. So which path is more dependable? Let's start by taking a closer look at that roller coaster.
Okay, first up, the COLA conundrum. For millions of people, this is their main defense against inflation once they retire. But as we're about to see, calling it a volatile lifeline might just be the understatement of the year.
Right, so just to make sure we're all on the same page here, COLA is that annual bump you get in your Social Security benefits. It's supposed to match inflation so that your buying power doesn't shrink over time. At least, that's the idea.
But the reality, it is way more erratic. Just look at this timeline. It tells the whole story. In 2010, 2011, and 2016, the adjustment was zero. Nothing. Zilch. Then, out of nowhere, you get this huge spike to 8.7% in 2023 because inflation was going crazy, only to see it drop right back down. How are you supposed to do any long-term financial planning with that kind of unpredictability? It's incredibly tough.
And when you smooth out all those crazy peaks and valleys, what are you actually left with? Well, the long-term average annual increase for COLA is just about 2%. Now remember that number, 2%. It's the benchmark we're going to measure everything else against. So if COLA is giving us an unpredictable 2% on average, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us to a really special group of companies, a group known as the Dividend Aristocrats. So what exactly makes a company an aristocrat? It's not about how big they are or what they sell. It's about one thing, and one thing only: consistency. These are companies that have given their shareholders a raise by increasing their dividend payout year after year after year for decades. We're talking through recessions, market crashes, you name it.
All right, let's get into the specifics. We're going to count down 5 of these aristocrats to see exactly how their income growth stacks up against that 2% COLA benchmark. Let's start building our case with numbers 5, 4, and 3. Kicking off our list at number 5, we have the industrial giant Caterpillar. You definitely know them for their big yellow machinery, but believe me, their financial machinery is just as impressive.
For 32 straight years, Caterpillar has increased its dividend. 32. That's a track record that stretches across multiple economic cycles, and it just shows an incredible resilience and a real commitment to its shareholders.
And here it is, the direct comparison. Over the last decade, Caterpillar's dividend has grown at an annual rate of 7.2%. That's not just beating that 2% COLA average, it's absolutely crushing it. We're talking more than triple.
Coming in at number 4 is a name that literally everyone on the planet knows: Coca-Cola. It's one of the most iconic brands in the world, and you know what? Its dividend history is just as legendary.
Get this, 62 consecutive years of dividend increases. 62. That's a streak that started way back when JFK was in the White House. I mean, that is the literal definition of long-term reliability. And this really shows the power of being consistent. Now, Coca-Cola's 10-year growth rate of 4.5% is a bit lower than Caterpillar's, but look, it has still more than doubled the income growth you would have gotten from that average COLA increase.
At number 3, we have the healthcare powerhouse, Johnson & Johnson. From Band-Aids to major pharmaceuticals, their whole business is built on things people need, whether the economy is booming or busting.
And just like Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson has an incredible 62-year streak of consecutive dividend increases. Seeing this kind of consistency from 2 totally different industries, it really hammers home the power of this aristocrat model. And just look at that growth, a 6.5% annual growth rate over the past decade. Again, that is more than triple that 2% COLA benchmark. You get that amazing reliability and really robust growth. What a combo. Okay, we've seen some seriously impressive numbers so far,
But now it's time for the heavyweights. Let's see who's taking the top 2 spots on our list.
Our runner-up at number 2 is another global giant, PepsiCo. And hey, don't just think about soda here. This is a massive portfolio of snacks and drinks that are household names all over the world.
And here's the crucial point. With a 10-year dividend growth rate of 7.1%, PepsiCo delivers income growth that, again, just completely blows the cola average out of the water. This is the kind of performance that can make a huge difference in keeping your purchasing power strong through a long retirement.
And finally, at number 1 on our list, we have the absolute king of consumer staples, Procter Gamble. Just think about the brands you use every single day. Tide, Crest, Pampers. Yeah, chances are P&G makes them.
This number, it's just staggering. 68 consecutive years of dividend increases. That is nearly 7 decades of uninterrupted growth. It's the longest, most impressive streak of the whole group, and it's a testament to their incredibly durable business.
So, we've looked at the individual players. Now, let's put it all together and see the final tally, get the big picture.
And here it is, all in one place. You can see these decades-long streaks of increases, and right next to them, the 10-year compound annual growth rate, or CAGR, which is just a fancy way of saying the average yearly growth over a decade. Every single one of them is more than double, and most are more than triple that 2% cola average. The data, well, it really speaks for itself.
So, what's the big takeaway here? For years, we're all taught to just focus on accumulating stuff, building up a big pile of assets for retirement. But this quote really gets to the heart of a crucial shift in thinking. Living in retirement, that's all about distributing that money as a reliable and hopefully growing income. Focusing on that income stream, not just the lump sum, can make all the difference in the world.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Looking at these numbers, how important is real, consistent, inflation-beating income growth to your own financial future? Now, of course, this is just a starting point for your own research. It's definitely not financial advice, but it's a question worth asking yourself. Thanks for tuning in.